Let us try to solve the exercise number 3 in the part B of CMA lab. In this particular exercise, we are supposed to create a HTML page to make a quiz game wherein the user should answer one question at a time, and the answer must be shown in the radio buttons. Without submitting the answer, the quiz should not move to the next question. And we are supposed to have a minimum of 5 questions. And whenever the user wishes to see the score, the user is going to click on the score button and the answer should be displayed in the alert message. All the questions must be loaded in the same page and no page navigation is allowed. And this is what they have shown. This is the sample website that they are showing, and this is how it should work. So if you run this particular application, this is how it's going to show. We are going to have a question here, and there will be answers shown in the radio button. And when the user clicks on the submit button, automatically the next question along with the answer is shown. Whenever the user wants to see the score, user is going to click on the score and you're going to see a alert message with the score that is being shown to the user. This is what we are supposed to do it. So let's go ahead and let's create a simple application. So I'm going to go to the NetBeans and I'm going to click on the file and I'm going to click on the new project. And in the project, I'm going to select the Java, HTML and JavaScript as my option. And I'm going to select HTML5/JS application. I'm going to click on next here, and you can give any name to your application. I'm going to give the name as a quiz demo. You can give any other name also. Let me click on next, and I will not select any template for my application. Also, I will not make use of any of this JSON as well as JavaScript file. That is not required for my application because it's going to be a very simple application. Let me click on finish, and the NetBeans is going to create a boilerplate HTML for me, out of which if you notice over here, this is just an advertisement that says what you can do with the particular template over here. I'm going to delete that. That's not really required. And in the title that they are saying to do, supply the title here. I'm going to say this is going to be my quiz application. Now coming back to the body over here, let's try to get what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to get a question, and I'm going to call this part as the header part. So this is the header part, and there will be a body that contains a number of questions, and this whole thing will be stored inside a div along with the button. Definitely you're going to have the button over there, and along with the button, everything I'm going to keep it inside a div. So I will start with the div. That will be my main div. I will start with the div, and inside this I will have two sections here. One div for my heading part, and the other div that I'm going to use is for my body part. So two things I'm going to have. One is for my heading, the other one is for my body. So I will call this the main part over here. I'm going to give it an ID. You can give it an ID or you can give it a class. I'm going to give it an ID as my main container that's going to contain everything. You can make it as class if you feel like. I think I will put two double quotes there. And inside this, I will have two sections here. So this first section, this is the main section that I have. So this is the main container. Inside this, I'm going to get the question in H2. You can give H3 or H1 is too much, I think. H2 is enough. So inside this, I'm going to get, where is the cursor gone? Okay. So here, I'm going to use the H2 tag, and I'm going to say this will be my question. So my question is going to go over here, and then I'm going to get the body. I'm going to give it a ID here, and I'm going to call this one as the body. That will be, don't get confused with this body. I'm going to say that will be the body. This first part will be the header, so don't get confused. So this is my heading section, and this will be my body section of this particular container. Don't get confused with the HTML body there. So it has nothing to do with the HTML body there. If you want, you can give some other name also, or if you don't want to use give any name to that, you can just ignore that, because I'm not going to make use of it. Suppose if you get confused, I'm going to just get rid of it. Okay. So some of you may get confused as to whether this is the body or that's the body. Okay, that's just a div. Okay, so simple as that. Let's go ahead and let's put some radio buttons over here. I'm going to put them as an unordered list. And you know how to create the unordered list. You start with the UL. So that's going to be my unordered list. An unordered list will contain list item. Now very well. So there will be a list item. I'm going to use the list item for the first one. So first I need if you look at the first answer over here, just look at the first answer over here. There is a text here, and there is a radio button here. At this point, you have a radio button. So I'll start with the radio button. So how do we get a radio button? So we start with the input, and we say that input, the type of this input is the radio button. So what has happened to this one? Okay, input. Okay, it just got stuck there. Okay, so you have the input, and the type of it is the radio button. Okay, something is going fishy with that NetBeans. I'm not sure. Okay, so the type is the radio button. Let me finish this input so that it won't show anything. So this is the radio, and you see the advertisement. It's coming every now and then. Okay, and let me give it an ID. I will say this is the first answer, and I'm going to call this first answer as A. Okay, then I'm going to press enter. This is followed by the label, so that is going to come there. So I have this label with me. Okay, so let me close this up. So if you look at here, you have this radio button. That's what I got it, and then followed by the label. So this is the label for that radio button. So how do you get this label? So to get the label, let me go over here. To get this particular label, you have to say label for what? So label for this ID. So what is the ID that I have given? So this is the, if you look at here, this is the radio button. That the radio button that you have just drawn, this radio button. So this input type is equal to radio. This is it. What is the ID of that? ID of that is the A. So I've taken that as A. That is why I'm saying that a label for A, label for this radio button, in other words. Okay. So in other words, so what I'm saying is, so this label, this particular label belongs to this radio button. So the name of this radio button, I have taken it as A. I will tell you why I have taken it as A in the, as I explained, you will come to know that why I have given it a name as A, not the answer or something else. There is a specific reason for that. Okay. Let me give the ID to this label. Remember, now I'm giving the ID to this label now. I think I pressed caps lock. ID to this label, and I'm going to say this is A answer. A answer. Okay. So my mission is a bit slow in a response. Okay. And I'm going to say this is the answer A. That is the first answer. Okay, so let's not talk much, and let's run and see how is it going to look like. Okay, so this is what you're going to see. There is a question and there is a radio button that is connected to this thing. Okay, when you run this particular thing, if you see that browser has refused to debug this tab, you be happy. Okay, suppose when you are running it, if you see that NetBeans is or the Chrome is debugging or something, you will get one message over here. Just cancel it. Don't allow the browser to debug it, because you are not going to see the correct result if the browser is debugging it. Just don't do it. Then you may say that what is the need then? This particular NetBeans will interact with the browser, and it will directly debug the content of this browser, but that is meant for the so-called advanced users, not for kids like us who are not doing any great thing. Okay, we are just starting to develop the content, so it's not really required. So what I have here as of now is I have a question and I have one answer, and there is a radio button associated with this particular answer. Same thing, I'm going to repeat it. I'm not going to type it again and again. So this is the first answer. Let me copy this whole list item, LI, and I'm going to press enter and I'm going to paste it. Okay. If you find that the things are not arranging properly, NetBeans has a simple option. Right click on it and you get an option for format. Okay, just format it and NetBeans will do the needful thing for you. Now that's for the question number A, and this is will be the question number B, and this is B answer. Okay, I'm just changing it as B answer. Also, this is answer B. Just making the changes. If you save it and just go to the thing, so you have the first answer, the second answer, and there will be four answer. If you look at here, there will be four answer. So I have to repeat it two more times. So I'm going to repeat it one more time. Control C and Control V to copy paste it. This is the answer number. I'm going to just change it. This is the answer C, and this is for the label B, and this is for the label C. I'm changing the ID. Label C, this is going to be the answer C, and this is C answer. Just make all the changes there. The ID of this radio button is C, that is why you are saying the label is for this ID. Name of this is C answer, and the text is yours. You can type any text of your choice. Save it and just refresh it, and you notice that you have answer A, B, C, and I need the last answer, so I'm going to use the Control C and Control V, and I'm going to get the next thing. So this I'm going to call it as D. So the label for D, this is the name of this ID is D answer, and there's the text. I'm going to change it as answer D. So this is how it's going to look like. So you have answer A, B, C, D. Done. We need two more buttons there. So let's get the buttons in action. So this will be my list item. Remember, I have the list item here. After this list item, so unordered list item is there. In that unordered list is there. In that I have the list items. So I'm going to go after the unordered list, and then I'm going to put two buttons here. I'll start with the button, and let me close that button. So, and I'm going to call, if you look at the button, let me show you that button. If you look at this particular button, that button is, one is submit, other one is score. Two things were there in there also. When a submit button is there, other one is the score button is there. I'm going to make the two buttons there, submit button and the score button. So this will be the submit button, and similarly I'm going to have one more button, and that button I'm going to call it as a score. Now things will not appear the way you expect it to appear. That's okay. We can fix them one after the other using the CSS. So if you look at this is how it's going to appear now. Now first thing, I'm going to get it to the center. First thing, I'm going to get this thing to the center. That is what is required. Before I do that, let's fix this body. If you look at there, there is one blue, light blue color is there. So let's fix the body now. I'm going to style this content. Let's go right at the top. After the header, so you have this heading part here. Press enter. So let's put the style here. So I'm going to put the style, and we are supposed to style it with the body itself. So let me make style here, and we are supposed to start with the body. So let's start with the body itself. Okay. First of all, we need a background color. So let's go with the background. Okay. So you can take background or background color. It's one and the same background color. And I need a color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the control and the space bar together, and I'm going to click on the choose color. Double click on this choose color. So you press control and space bar, you get this option. Double click on it and select some light color. So if you look at this particular color, you get one color that is nearest to it. Okay, don't waste too much of time in getting the exact color. Is not really a matter. Just click OK. Just press this one, save it, and if you come back, this is how it's going to appear. I think I need slightly lesser color than that. Okay, don't waste too much of time. Again, I'm not going I'm going to just try once. So somewhere you can get that color. I'm not very sure where it is, but I think this is the color. I will not try again, but again, you also during the examination, don't waste your time in getting the exact color. Exact match is not really required. You just have to get that color. So you got the color at the background. Maybe it is varying, but it's okay. You get one color at the in the background. And let's get this content at the center. So how do you get the content in the center? So let's go ahead and let's fix that particular part. So I'm going to say align the items. So I'm going to say align the items definitely at the center. So you need to align them at the center. Also, I want to justify the content, whichever is there. So justify the content which are there, definitely again with respect to the center, so that everything appears at the center. So if you just look at here and if you look at the thing, nothing is going to happen. So you are not going to get them in the center part, but in order to get that thing, what you are supposed to do it. Okay, so that part is there. So you just say display and you say flex. Okay, you need to go there and then do it. So you notice that it's going to come there. So unless you make the display as flex, you will not get them at the center. But it has come to the center, but not exactly the place where I expect it to come. It is coming here, but in this case it has come, at least it has come at the center. You must be happy that it has come at the center. Okay, so good that it has come there. Now let's come to the body of it. So you have this body, you know very well. In this case, I told you this is my body. Okay, this particular the main content. So this is your main area wherein you are going to show the content. So that there is that main content is there. Don't worry, it is not shown there, but it is there. Okay, because I have not given it any formatting. So if you notice here, I have given the name for this main content as my main container. Okay, I'm going to fix it with the main container. So let's go ahead and let's give the main container some names here. So I'm going to say main container, and I'm going to give it some property. Okay, first of all, if you look at here, this particular thing, it is white in color. So that's the first thing. And in my case, it's not white in color. So let me get it white in color. So how do you do that thing? I'm going to say background color. So background color, and I'm going to say background color is white. if you look at here now, background color is white. Don't worry about the other things. We are setting one thing at a one thing at a time. Okay. And if you look at here, the things are not appearing properly. So if you look at here, so it should have been, it's like it should have been up to this end. Okay, so that things will be shown very neatly. Here it is abruptly stopping. So I'm going to set the minimum width for my control there. So how do I set my minimum width? I'm going to say minimum width, okay, not the minimum height. So let's say minimum width is 400 pixel. So just I am giving some value. Okay, just see what is the effect. Okay, minimum width is 400 pixels, something like this. Okay, it's going to appear slightly larger. Okay, now I have set this minimum width. Now I have to somehow get it here. Now this is here now. I have to get it at this location. Okay, somehow I have to get this at this location. How do I get to this? In other words, I have to get it at 50% location. This is 50% from here to here, 50% from here to here, 50% from here to here, 50% from here to here. So that the whole thing, what you see here, is in the middle. So how do you get that thing? First of all, I'm going to set the position of it exactly at the center. So how do I say position is should be exactly like that? I'm going to say absolute positioning should be there because I want it exactly at the center. Then I'm going to set this top margin. Remember, I have to get this one. Remember this thing, the top margin here. You see this top side. Okay, top side has to be pulled down so that it's going to appear here. Okay, get it down. Similarly, left side, from left side you have to get so 50% you have to go down, 50% you have to go down. Okay, so let's go and let's do it. Okay, you are not going to get the answer, but let me try that. Okay, so I'm going to say top is 50%, okay, down, and left is 50%. Done. Now if you look at here, you will not get the answer. Now, what is the problem? Why it is not coming? You will definitely say that this should have been the center, but you are going below it. What is the reason? The reason is very simple. See, it is actually taken 50 here. This is the 50 and this is the 50, right? But this should be the center of this. In other words, your thing must come here. So roughly like this. This is the middle, 50-50. This is 50%. Okay, this is 50 from here. This is 50 from here. So exactly here. But the problem is it is coming down. So what you must do is slightly move it up. So what is that you can do? Translate it, move it up, as well as move it to the other side so that it fixes itself to the other side. So how do I do that particular thing? So this, if you take this width, I'm going to remove this thing. Okay, so this here over, I'm going to just redraw it. Okay, so let me draw it with the red color. Okay, any color is okay. So here and here is there. So now what you have to do is get its width. So whatever width it is, you know it is 400. Okay, 400 cross something is there, or 400 cross something is there. So some value is there. Get the middle of it. That is 50% inside. Okay, and 50% on the top. Okay, whatever the pixel may be, that 50%. So you have to move this 50% to this top side so that your top side will come. Remember 50% from here, whatever width is there, I'm going to redraw it. Whatever width is there from 50% of this, so this is 100%. Okay, so this 50% what you get here, this 50% what you get here, okay, this 50% you move it up. So when you move this up by 50%, what is going to happen is your rectangle, that top side will come here. 50% you're moving upwards. Similarly, you have to move 50% to the left side. Okay, so that your rectangle that you are drawing is going to start from here, and you're going to get it roughly at the middle. So I have to move it. How do you say it has to be moved? You know very well, you have to transform it. Okay, the word that we are using in graphics is called as transform. The other way around is you can set the margin. That's also possible, but I'm going to go with the transform. And what is the transformation that you want? I don't want it to be rotated. I want it to be translated. Translate means moving. In physics, translation from one point to the other point. You are moving from one point to the other point. The physics people say you are translating the object from one place to the other. So moving is called as a translate. Okay, don't get confused. Translation is not from Hindi to Kannada or that kind of thing. Translation means you are translate means you're moving it. Okay, rotate means you know very well what is the meaning of rotating. Shear means there is some other word called shear. Shear means something. You ask physics people, they will tell you all the stories how to do the transform. Again, maths people will also tell you. I think you have already studied that thing in the first year. If not, well and good. Okay, let's move by 50%. Remember, I have to move up by 50%, not down. So I'm putting minus 50. If you are asking me why did you do that thing, because I told you that I am moving it. If I say plus, it's going to move down again. It's going to move down again. I'm making from here move upwards. So that is what is meaning. Again, move leftwards, minus 50. So this is what I am saying. Okay, let's put that thing and let's see it in the action. Okay, are we getting it in that particular action? So I have set the margin. Let me, I think it was already there in the, in my case, I don't need to, let me just remove this translation. Yeah, oh, this 50% was missing. That's why I was also wondering why it was actually coming at that. Okay, let me see. I just missed this when I was talking and typing. I missed this percentage sign. You see the effect. I was also thinking that time, but then I thought it is coming. Okay, so it was coming like this. I just missed a percentage sign there. Okay, as I talk, let me try it again, and I think I must be in the center. So now you will say that uh, if you say that this is the center, this is the center, this is exactly at the center, then that thing is going to come. So we just put it at the exactly at the center. Okay. Now there is few other thing that you must see. If you carefully look at here, its border that you see, if you just look at this border, that border is curvature. Can you see there? It is curved. It is not, edge is not sharp there. I have to change the radius of the border. How do I do that thing? So let's fix that part. So I'm going to say border dash radius. Uh, Radius, not the right. A radius, let me, I don't know, let me put 5 pixel. Okay, I'm not going to waste my time. Where is it? Okay, 5 pixel. Okay, can you see that? Border is 5 pixel. Okay, so it is sharp. It is not sharp now. Can you see that thing? It is not sharp. All the sides, it is not sharp. It is curvature. Radius is there. Okay, if you want still more curvature, just make it 10 or something of that type. But I think I'm not going to waste my time as well as the video time by making it making for trial and error. Okay, so we have fixed a few things. Let's get this question in the middle. If you see this question is coming in the middle, and you know where is that question. Now question that you notice, it is there with the h2. Okay, so inside this h2 question is there. So let me fix this h2 itself. So I'm going to go to my style now, and I'm going to say h2. Apart from this, I'm setting the style for h2, and I'm going to say text align. So text align for h2 as center, definitely. Okay. Center. Okay, so that's the spelling, I suppose. Has it come? Yes, it has come at the center. Okay, done. If at all, if you feel like it is not coming properly, you can set the margin and other things. So we will see it okay later. it's something fine tuning. The so-called fine tuning is required. I'm going to fix this fine tuning there. Let's get this thing out. This is not really required. If you see there is no dot because it's a bulleted list, that is unordered list. So that dot will come. I don't want that dot to appear. So how am I going to do it? So this dot you are going to get it because you said it is unordered list. So this is the dot is because of that unordered list. So what are we going to do? We are going to fix that unordered list itself. So we will go to this unordered list and we will give it some style. So what is the style? You know very well, unordered list you can get the style as a disk, circle, square, and so on and so forth. But I'm going to say list style. So list style type. Okay. So list style type, you get a lot of option there like circle, disk, and so on. So you might have studied square and other thing, but I'm going to say don't show anything. How do I say that? None. Disk style is none. What is the effect? The effect is it is gone. Okay, that's nice. Very interestingly, it has gone. Okay, and but it is coming with this side. So what you can do, you can reduce the padding. Okay, you can say padding is 0. You can say that padding is 0. So if you say the padding is 0, it's going to come here. Okay, if it is, if you feel that okay, no, padding is very close, you can say padding is 5 pixel. Slight gap will be there. Okay, it's up to you. Again, making it look very beautiful. It's up to you. Okay, well, how you want to do it, you do that particular thing. Also, let's look at the other one. Now, I want some gap between the one question and the other question. So this gap that you see there between the question, and if you look at their output also, there is some extra gap is there. How do I get it? Remember, this one component is the list item. This is list item. This is again one more list item, one more list item. I have to just increase the size of this list item, li, that what I put here. This li that you have put here, this list item, you have to fix it. Now this list li is inside ul. So how am I going to put the style for that? I'm going to say this is ul, that is the unordered list. Inside that you have a li. Okay, and I'm going to change the style of that li. So how do I do that particular thing? I'm going to give each item a padding of 2 pixel again. Let's see what is my effect. Okay, can you see it is their size? There is a gap, extra gap. If you want to give 3 pixel, it's up to you. Okay, that's up to you. Okay, you get the thing being done. Okay, now this part is done. Let's look at these two buttons. These two buttons are actually coming in a very different way. So let's fix these buttons now. So let's fix these buttons. So we have these buttons. Where is this button? Okay, so let's go and fix this button. First of all, the button has a different color. You notice this button has a different color and we need to select the color. So that's the first thing we will do with the button. We are going to say this button has a color, background color, and you must select a color. Now that's going to be a terribly, I'm going to select one color that I'm with colorblind, that's why I'm finding it difficult. Okay, I don't know. Well, this is the color, I suppose. Let's see. Where is this? Oh, this is too much, I suppose. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to try one more time, and you know very well how to get it. Okay, delete this one and go and go double click on this choose color and get some color. Okay, get some color. Don't worry if I'm not getting that color. Don't worry about it because I don't want to waste my time on the video showing you the exact color. This is the color for me. That's the color, and that's enough for me. Okay, and the text that you see here is in white in color. So let's fix that the text also. So let's go. Remember background color and you have this foreground color. Foreground color means just color. Background is that color. Foreground is white in color. So let's fix this and you see that it is white in color. Now they have to come in blocks. So how do we set them? to come in blocks. So I'm going to say display, and I'm going to say display it as block. Okay, so how is it going to appear? If you look at here, display in block means the one in one row, second one in second row. But definitely it is not coming in full size. We will fix them. Okay, we are getting close to them one after the other. Let me get the width of it so that it will come in full screen. So let me say width is 100%. So whatever the space that the container has, let it take that 100% width, and you see that they are in the 100% width now. Okay, that's done, and I need some spaces there so that you notice here there is a gap. This submit is there. Look at this submit. There is a gap in between. Okay, so let me fix that part first. So how do I do that particular thing? I'm going to add a padding for that. Okay, so padding of let's say 10 pixel. I just want extra spaces there. So are we getting 10 pixel? Okay, that's enough. Okay, so that's wide now. Now I want the gap in between. So how am I going to get that back, the gap? So I'm going to set the top margin. I'm going to say top, not this top margin. I want this margin top. I'm going to get this margin top. And how much? Let's say 15 pixel. I'm just trying some value. Okay, random value. Okay, some gap is there. Can you see that? Some gap. Okay, well and good. But I don't want. If you look at here, there is no that buttons. They actually appear as though they are protruded out. Okay, I don't want that thing to happen. So what am I going to do? Okay. In that case, I'm going to get rid of this border for that button. So that border is creating a problem. Border, I'm going to say no. I don't want any border for my button. So let's look at how it's going to appear. So look at here. Now it is coming. Okay, beautiful. So you have done the thing. I think that's enough for us. Okay. Anything else? Let me see. If anything else is there, I'm going to fix it later. I think that's enough for our button. Okay, that button is also appearing. Now let's look at something else here. Now, if you look at the original here, now I don't know what is the problem with them. See, there is actually extra gap here. Can you see that gap? Extra, I don't know why that gap is there. Okay, but in my demo that I'm showing also, I have not put that extra gap. I'm not very sure what was the reason behind that. But if you want, you can put the gap there for the h2 there. Okay, let me go to this h2, and let me say that h2 margin top. Okay, margin top. I'm going to just say maybe 30 pixel. I don't know. You just see. Can you see that gap? Okay. If you want, if you still want, you can put more gap here. Okay. Can you see it's extra gap has come? Okay. If you want, you make it as 40 or something. I feel like the 30 is enough. Okay. Let's say with the 40. Did I type 40 there? Okay. Some gap is there. I don't know what is the reason, but they have put some gap there. So in their question also they have put some gap here. There is actually extra gap here. Can you see that thing over here? Some gap is there. I don't know. Some they have put something there. That's enough. Okay. With that, I think we have done. But there is one minor problem. Or what is that minor problem is? If you carefully look at this thing, I'm going to just scroll because I've looked at it. Now, if you look at, I'm going to show it in my demo that I'm running here. Now, if you look at here, the edges over here. Now, if you look at this edge is sharp. Can you see that? This edge is sharp, but this edge is curved. Can you see that? That edge is curved. Similarly, this edge is also curved. Can you see that? So that bottom side, that edge is curved. But in my case, that edge is not curved. The one that I'm showing now, I'm doing now is this edge is not curved. It is not curved. So I have to get it curved. How do I get it curved? Now, I can't do anything with it because if I try with the button, if you just go here and try and do something with that button is for both of them. Now I don't want it for this. I don't want it to come for this one. I want only for the other button, not for the first button. First button there is no problem. Okay, it is good. Only the second button has a problem. How to fix that one is you have to specify when you are specific for a button, you have to give it some name. Okay, what name can you give? Okay, I'm going to call this as I'm going to give it an ID, and I'm going to call this as score. Okay, I don't know why it went. Okay, I'm going to call it as score. Okay, just one name I'm giving. I'm going to call it as score, so that I can fix that. So for that second button, score button, I'm giving a ID as score. Let me go and fix the second button now. So this is specific for that button. So I'm going to say the hash score because I'm now fixing for that second button. So this hash score means I'm fixing this button, the second button. This whatever style I'm going to perform now, it is exclusive for the second button, not for the first button. So for the second button, I'm going to change the border. Okay, border radius, but I don't want to change the border radius entire all the borders. So I'm going to say border, and I'm going to say bottom, and you have the bottom left and bottom right radius. So I start with the bottom left radius, and I'm going to give it 5 pixel. In the same way, I'm going to say border, okay, and bottom, okay, and I'm going to say right. The my machine is a bit slow. Okay, right, and I'm going to set as 5 pixel. So let's look at how is it going to appear now. Now, if you notice now, this is mine running one. If you notice now that border is now the bottom border, left side border is 5 pixel curvature is there. And I'm going to just zoom it for you. Okay, so that curvature is there. Can you see there? And there is a curvature of 5 pixel. So that radius is now fixed there. So with that we are done, but you see that when I hover over this, you see this when I hover over this, the color is changing. That's going to add some beauty to your program. So let's fix that one. Okay, so let's go to this button. Okay, this time I'm going to go to the button, but I'm going to say when I hover over this button. So what I'm saying is when I hover my mouse over that button, I want the color to be changed. That's all. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to say my background color. So my background color, I'm going to take some light color. So what is the light color? I'm going to go and choose one color. I'm going to take some gaudy color so that you see the effect there. Okay. Otherwise, if I take a close by color, you won't see the effect. And purposely I've done that. So you see that when I hover over it, you see that effect. Subtle effect is there, and you see I hover over it, and you see this effect. Okay, but everything is good, everything is beautiful, but there is one major problem. And what is that major problem is, suppose if you have these 4 answers here, and you know very well when you have the radio buttons, you can select only one. But in this case, if you click on this first button, that gets selected. Well and good, answer 1 is selected. But if you select the answer 2, that also gets selected. Answer 3 is also getting selected. Answer 4 is also getting selected. This is going to be a terrible problem. How to fix this problem is when you give the radio buttons over here, when you have this radio buttons over here, there is one property that you must remember. And what is that? Excuse me. What is that property? That is the name. All of them must have the same name. Okay, I'm going to give any name to that. Okay, I'm going to say this is answer. All of them will have the same name. Okay, this radio button will have the same name, answer. Second radio button will also have the same name, answer. Okay, everywhere you give the same name. All the radio button must have the same name, otherwise you can select them separately. So when you give the same name to all of them, you see a magic that is going to happen with the HTML. And what is that magic? That magic that you're going to see here is, I'm going to save this one, and let's go back to here. And now if you notice, I can select this, or I can select this, or I can select or I cannot select all of them. So remember that thing. If you don't give the same name to the radio buttons, they will behave individually. So you are going to set the name property, and you're going to say the name, any name you can give, but that same name must be given to all the radio buttons in the group. Okay, so we have done with the formatting part, so called. Now our real challenge will come. And what is that? We are supposed to load the questions. Okay, for that we need to have the question. And what they have said is it must be, all the question must be loaded in the same page. You cannot use any other files to load it. You can't get it from database, or you can't do anything. So everything has to be done with the script. So let's go ahead and let's write the script. I'm going to go here and I will start with the script. And I'm going to go and let's go with the script. Let's put the script tag. Let's create an array that contains questions and answers. So how are you going to create a array in Java? So how do you create a array? Well, I'm going to make a constant array. So how do you create a array in C or in C++ or anything? The name of the array is ARR, and you say this is the array, right? Okay, now this array contains you say 10 20 30 like this, but in my case the array, let me this, in my case the array contains questions and answers. So how do you say that? I'm going to say this is one set containing question and answer. I'm going to type that question and answer. Next there will be one set with the question and answer. Next there will be one set with the question and answer. So I'm not going to type the element here. Inside this, I will type the question and answer and so on and so forth. So this will be treated, whatever I type within this bracket, that is flower bracket, will be treated as one element. The second one will be treated as one element. Third one will be treated as one element. And you know very well, in between the element, there is a comma separation. So let me start with the first element. Okay, because I have to do it bit lengthier one. I'm going to just give some space there. Remember, just press enter there. So I just press enter, and I've taken it to the next line so that I will get some space to type the content here. Okay, so let's start with the one content. So let me put this back. Okay, this is, I'm going to get it here. So this is my first content. This is my end of the array. So that is the array. You see that array. This is the first element, and next element will come here. Okay, I'm just doing the same thing. Next element will come here, and so on. Okay, so one element will come like this. So let me start with the first element. Okay, so I have to type it between the flower bracket. I'm going to press enter so that it looks a bit beautiful. So let me put make it beautiful. Okay. Let me say question. I'm going to say Q is my question. So question is what is the full form of RAM? Okay, so that is the question. What is the full form of RAM? What is the full form of RAM? First answer, first choice. Choice is A. So choice A is you're going to say random access memory. What will be the choice B? Okay, one thing you must do is you must put comma separation. Remember, this is one comma separation, and the second one comma separation, and so on. So next B is read only memory. Okay. C is, let's say, central, what is it? I'm saying central processing unit. Okay, done. D, let's say hard disk, let's say disk drive. Okay, so that is 4 choices are there. Done. And you must know what is the correct answer, is it not? I'm going to say the right answer. I will take it as R. Right answer is, among them, what is the right answer? You know very well. Random access memory is the right answer. You know that. Okay, so this is what I have done. So let me put a comma here. If you miss a comma, you're going to end up in trouble. So this is a question. Question is Q. A answer, B answer, C answer, D answer, and the right answer. Okay, one question is over. One element is over. So how do you write it? So 4 comma 5 comma like that. This is how you write the array, is it not? So in this case, from here to here, one element is over. Like you typed one element, then put a comma, then the second element will come. Okay, so let me remove that. Okay, second, I'm not going to type this whole thing because you know very well during the examination you won't get time to type. So don't type something, don't type a very complicated question. That is not what is asked in the examination. So I've selected this question because of some good reason. What is that good reason? If you notice here, next time I'm going to say what is the full form of ROM. You know very well the answer for this is B. Okay, next time I'm going to press enter, and remember I used the control C, I'm going to use the control B. This is the third answer. What is the full form of CPU? You know very well, answer is C. Okay. Next time I'm going to again press enter. What is the full form of HDD? HDD stands for hard disk drive, so that is D. Done. I need one more answer, one more question, because I have 4 questions now. If you look at here, 4 questions are there. 1, 2, 3, 4 questions are there. I need fifth question. I'm going to control V here for the fifth question. And I'm going to say, now I'm going to just change the question. Which memory is volatile? So I'm going to just change the question. Which memory is volatile? What is the meaning of saying volatile? Volatile, T-I-L-E. Volatile is that's funny. Okay, now what is the meaning of saying volatile? Is the memory that loses its content when the power is switched off. You know very well that is RAM. RAM will lose its content when it is switched off. Remember, very very important thing, remove this mark there. Okay, so when you create an array, let me go back. When you create an array, you say ARR equal to inside bracket 2 comma 3 comma 5 comma something, and you don't put the comma at the end. At the end you just put the closing bracket. So remember, last one, for the last element there is no comma. Before that there is a comma. So before that there is a comma. Before that there is a comma. For the last element there is no comma. So be careful when you copy pasting it. When for the last element, remove that comma will come. Remove that comma and make sure that you have everything set properly. So don't make if the array itself is not proper, then you'll not be able to do anything. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's proceed with it. Now I'm going to load this question. So next my challenge is to load this question. How am I going to load this question? I'm going to write a function that's going to load this question into the memory. So let's go ahead and let's write a function. I'm going to say function. Okay, and let's say load question. You can type anything. Load question. That will be the name of the function. Load question will be the name of the function. Okay, so let's write the load function method. So what is that we are going to do? Remember, every time this array has 5 elements, you know, in a C program, in whatever program you type, array has a 5 element. How do you get the first element of the array? Array of 0 is the first element. Array of 1 is the second element. In the same way, how do you get the ith element? Array of I will give you the ith element of the array. So this is going to give you the ith element of the array. So if I is 0, you get the first element. If I is 1, you get the second element. So depending upon the value of I, you get different values. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to create a variable called as I. I'm going to set the value as I is 0. That is the first element. And I'm going to load the element one after the other. Now the question is, where am I supposed to load it? I am supposed to load the question here. I have to load the question here and answer in this input, that is the radio button text box. So this is the labels that you have. One label, second label, third label, I have to load it. And the next one is H2. I have to load them. Okay. How am I going to do that thing? Okay. In order to do that thing, let me go to the my what do you say, the HTML, and then let's do something about it. Now let's look at this HTML. Let me go up. Okay, where is my HTML? So I have this h2. Okay, so that h2 that I have given, let me give it an ID because I have to refer that h2. Let me give it an ID, and I'm going to call this one as a question. I'm giving a name to this h2 so that I can refer it in my JavaScript. Okay, where is it gone? Okay, so I'm given this h2. Question was there, that h2. I've given an ID as question. So this, what you see here, even though it is showing something as question, this is the text, don't worry about it, but that h2 is given an ID question. I have to get hold of that question. How do I get hold of that? So you know very well, in order to get a reference to the element, you go to this document. So you go to this document element and you say get element by ID. Okay, what is the name of that element? So name of this element is question. So be careful. See, what I'm doing is actually I'm double clicking on it and control C and control V. You may say that why you are doing this? Because when I type, I make some spelling mistake. If I make some spelling mistake, this ID and this ID will not match. So during the examination, that's the worst thing that will happen. You, instead of typing question, instead of typing QUE, you might have typed QUES. And this ID and the ID that you are trying to refer here, get element by ID, are not matching. In that case, what's going to happen is it will give you a null reference and you will not see a question. So it is better you go here and just double click on it, control C it, copy it and paste it, so that you are absolutely sure that even if there is a spelling mistake, the same spelling mistake is done here also. Now I have to change the HTML content which are there. So inside this HTML, whatever content is there, I have to change it. So I got the reference to this h2. Remember, this is shown inside this h2. I have to get the inner HTML. So how do I say that? You say inner, or you got the element by ID, you are going to say inner HTML, and I have to show something. Okay, what is that I'm supposed to show? I'm supposed to show the question. Okay, so I'm supposed to show the question. What is the RAM, or what is the full form of, or what is some question I am supposed to show? Is it not? How, where is that question? That question is there in this array. So let's go to this array, and I am not supposed to show the first question. I am supposed to show the ith question. So I'm going to go to this array. I called it as ARR, okay, as my array, and I'm going to get the ith element. Inside that ith element, I want the question. So I want that question Q to be shown here. Okay, so let's look at this one. This is what I've done. So I don't know, whichever it is, I want the question to be shown here. Okay, now if you run it, nothing is going to happen. So what I'm going to do here, I have not completed the function. Okay, not completed the function. I'm going to just call this function. I'm writing the function. After writing the function, I'm going to just call this function, or in other words, I'm going to activate this function. If you just write the name of the function, when it is loading, it's going to activate it. Now suppose if you look at here, you're going to get this question here. So this, I got the reference to this h2, and inside this there was something called as question was there. That question, that HTML part content that was there, that has been replaced with the question. Similarly, I have to get the reference to the next element. So how am I going to get it? So same story, same document. Okay, get element by ID. What is the element? What is the name of the element? Remember this particular thing. If you go up here, See, answer A is there. This has to be replaced. This answer A has to be replaced. Where is this answer A? Answer A is here. Where is in the label? What is the name of that label? A answer. A answer. So that is the ID. I'm going to copy it, Control C, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to paste it here. So I am getting the reference to that element. Okay, and then I'm going to put the dot here and I'm going to say inner HTML is what I have this array ARR, that is my name of my array, and I want the ith element, and I don't want the question, I want the first answer, that is A. So what is this A? Remember when I wrote this one, I wrote it like this. So this is question is Q, first answer is A, second answer is B, C, and so on. So I am saying the first answer that I have given is A. I've given the tag as A, so I'm saying that show that A there. So I'm going to just save it, and you notice that first is done. Okay, let's do the second one. How am I going to do it? Now I'm not going to waste my time. Control C and Control V. I will just make a copy of this same line. Now that's why I told you I'm giving some strange name there. The reason is look at the way I've given the names. So this first one is A answer, second one is B answer, third one is C answer, fourth one is D answer. So I've given the label name in such a way that it is easier for me to modify. So the first one is A answer, second one is B answer. Remember, for the B answer, you have to show not this A, not this one. You are supposed to show the second one, that is B. So how do you say that? You are going to say this one is B. Okay. What about for the third one? So if I'm going to just save it and just show you. So I got the second answer. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to do it for the third and fourth. So Control C, Control V. And what are the changes you have to make? This is the answer C, and this is C. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to do it, complete it, and then show it. This is answer D, and this is D. Okay. Save it, and let's see. We got all the answers. So that is done. So we are done with this one. Okay. Now let's look at what is going to happen. So when you say look at the question that they have given, okay, without submitting the answer. So here, without where is this? Okay, the quiz game, user should answer only one question at a time. Okay, answer must be shown in the radio button, that we have done. Without submitting the answer, okay, quiz should not move to the next question. So this you have to check that thing there. So you have to check whether there is at least one radio button that is clicked or not. If it is not clicked, then you should not take it to the next one. So without submitting the answer, the question, okay, should not go to the next one. Now I'm going to handle that one slightly later. So how do you get the next question? That thing will come to your mind. So if I select anyone and if I click on submit, it will go to it should load the second question. Okay, so when I click on this submit button, it has to load the next question. How am I going to do it? So I'm going to write one more function. I'm going to write one more function here. So let's write a function. I'm going to write a function, and I'm going to call it as a submit function. You can call it any name you want. And what is that I'm going to change is I'm going to increase the value of I by 1. So I was 0. Initially I was 0. I plus plus means I value is changed. And I'm going to call this load function. What is this load question? I'm going to call that load question method. So let's look at what is going to happen. So let's refresh it. You select one thing, you click on submit. Look at here, the question is what is the full form of RAM? So I submit here, nothing is going to happen. Why? Because if you just write a function, who is going to call that function? This function has to be called when the submit button is clicked. So let's go to this submit button. I'm going to go right at the top to my submit button. So you have this submit button here, and I'm going to say submit button. So let me go here to the submit button, and I'm going to say on click, not one. So what is one? It has come on click. I'm going to call a method. What is the method that I'm going to call? The one that I've just written. That is a submit method. I just written a method, this submit method. I am calling that method. So when I click on it, this submit method that I've written. So when I click on this submit button, that method has to be called. So let's save it and let's try it. So you have the question, you click on this. So first question is what is RAM? Submit it, what is ROM? Submit it, what is CPU? Submit it. Well, everything is done. Okay, you have done that one. Now let's look at let's see the next part. And what is the next part that we are supposed to handle? The next part that we are supposed to handle is the very important thing. And what is that? A very important thing. Very important thing. Let me refresh it and start over here. See, I select the question. Okay, random access my whatever it is. Okay, I click on submit. Next time again, this is by default it is selected. I go to the next question. This is selected. That should not happen. See, when you start, you must give a blank slate to the user, saying that nothing is selecting. I am not selecting anything. Okay, default nothing is getting selected. You select something. Everything is blank here. You select something and then go to the next one. So in other words, when the question is loaded, suppose if I select this and click next, when the question is loaded, this thing whatever that is selected in the previous question, suppose if I select here this question, and the next question is loaded, this should become a blank slate. It should not get selected. How to do that thing? So we have to go to this radio buttons, and there is a property called as checked property. So when you click on here, that checked property is true. We have to make that checked property false. How to do that thing? Okay, let's go ahead and let's do that thing here. So when we are loading the question, if you look at this, when you are loading this question, we have to also get the hold of. So I'm going to go to this document. So where is this document? And I'm going to say get element by ID, get element by ID, no doubt. And which is the element? This time I'm interested in the radio buttons. So what is the name of the radio button? If you notice here, for all the radio button, the ID that I've given for the first radio button ID is A, second radio button ID is B, third ID is C, and so on and so forth. So that is why I told you I'm giving some strange name because it is easier for me to write the code. So first radio element is A. Okay. And what is the property that I am interested in is I'm going to say clicked, CLIC, what is the spelling? Not the clicked, sorry, this, what is that? Checked, not the clicked. Okay, checked is false. So I don't want it to be checked. Similarly, I'm going to do the same thing for the A is the first radio button. Remember this first radio button, I gave the ID as A. For the second, I gave the ID as B, C, D, and so on. So I'm going to do it for all the radio buttons. So I'm going to copy it, paste it. And this is for the B radio button. It is false. Next one, C radio button. It is false. Next one, D radio button. It is false. Done. Let's go ahead and let's look at the thing now. So you notice that what is the full form of RAM? I'm going to select one question and I submit it. What is the full form of ROM? But you notice here nothing is getting selected. I click something, I go to the next question. Next question is loaded, but you notice that this is blank slate. So every time I give a blank slate to the user, so that in other words, what is going to happen is you are prompting to the user, okay, that is the answer. Okay, so if something is selected, it's like giving a prompt to the user. So that is done. Now there is one other thing you must take. Two things has to be taken care of. First one is let's fix the first one. What will happen when the last question is shown? Okay. After the last question is shown, you are not supposed to submit it here. If you submit, it is going to go beyond the length of the array. So how many elements are there in this array? You know, 5 elements are there. This is the first element, second element, third element, fourth element, and fifth element. After this, it should not go to the next one. You must say it has stopped. Stop here. You can't proceed. So I have to check what is the value of this one. Suppose, okay, after I plus plus, suppose if you say I plus plus, okay, if you find that when you increase the I, if the value of I is less than the size of the array, how do I get the size of the array? My name of the array is ARR, and I'm going to say, give me the length of the array. You've seen, you've studied it in your C program. Okay, if the length of the array is less than that, then you load the question. Nobody is going to find fault with you, because I value is less than the length of the array, means there are some questions are there. But if the I value is greater than the length of the array, then you will have some problem. What is the problem that you will face? The problem that you are going to face is you will go beyond the length of the array. So I'm going to say else. Okay, I'm going to give an alert and say that, okay, alert, and say that, okay, quiz completed. It done. Quiz completed. Let me save it, and let's see what's going to happen. So let's start from the beginning. What is the thing? Submit it. What is this 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 thing? Submit it, and you say your quiz is completed. Over. Okay. So your quiz is completed. Okay. Now the question is, where? What about the score? So when I click on score, nothing is happening. So I have to check for the score, is it not? So when I click on, see, this is, I'm going to reload it. I select a question. I click on submit. When I submit the next answer, the question will come. When the next answer is coming, I have to check whether the previous answer was proper or not, whether the previous choice was proper or not. I have to check that. How do I check that thing? So let's come back here. Let's look at this one. So before you go to the next, if you say I plus plus, means you are going to the next question. Before you go to the next question, you have to check whether the answer is proper or not. How do I do it? We're going to use the if statement. Okay, if, okay, I am going to get, remember, the thing is, I have given the name. I told you I'm a bit choosy when selected the name of this radio buttons. So see the thing, radio button I've given the name as A, radio button I've given the name as B, radio button I've given the name as C, and so on and so forth. What may be the reason for that? The reason for that is, if you look at the correct answer in my array, if you look at the correct answer, the correct answer, right answer is A. Look at here, A. Okay. If now look at my logic that I am using. If for the first question, this is A, this is the radio button with the ID A, this is the radio button with the ID B, radio button ID C, radio button ID, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is the ID, that is A, B, C, D is the ID. Remember, if this is the, for the first question, if you look at here, okay, let's look at this one. For the first question, okay, what is the correct answer? The correct answer, let me just give me a second, I will remote and just show it. Okay, for the first question, okay, what is the correct answer? Correct answer is A. Okay, and if this radio, what is the ID of this one? This ID of this radio button is also A. If this A radio button with the ID A is selected, then your answer is correct. Okay, if suppose the, what is the ID of this ID of this uh, radio button is A, ID of this radio button is B, ID of this radio button is C, ID of this radio button is D. Suppose if you are clicked to the ID D, then this is not matching with the ID D is not matching with the correct answer. So what I'm saying is if this, just look at here, take the ID from the answer, okay, and come here. If the answer, the right answer is A, then go to the radio button with the ID A. If that is clicked, then your answer is correct. Okay, here the second question, take the answer that is B, just go to the this radio button. What is the ID of this radio button? You know very well. I've given the ID of this radio button is B. If this is clicked, then your answer is right. If something else is clicked, then your answer is wrong. So this is what I am going to do here. So look at the way I am writing over here. So I will go here. I don't know whether you'll be able to get that logic. So I'm going to go to this document, okay, and I'm going to say get element by ID. Okay, and I'm going to say which element, look at the way these people are advertising. Okay, so I'm going to say here ARR of I, okay, and the right answer. So what is this, the meaning of this right answer? Right answer could be either, look at here, the right answer could be either A, B, C, or C. So what is this happening? This is this B, C, D, and so on. So that element. So what I'm saying is go to the element with the ID A. With the ID A. So how you have written here, element with the ID A. Instead of that, what I'm saying is get that element. If this is checked, okay, then if this is checked, then what are you going to do? Okay, that is the question. You increase the score. So you are supposed to show the score right now. You're supposed to show the score there. So let me create a variable here. So I've selected a variable R here. I'm going to select one more variable called as a score, SC score, whatever you take it. Initialize it with the 0. Okay, done. And if you select this answer as proper, then I'm going to say, if you want to put the brackets, I'm not going to put the bracket because that's not going to be something that is a very simple statement over here. So if you want, you put the right, you can press enter also. Again, if you're not familiar with the C, and if you want the traditional C, put the bracket, put this bracket, it's not really required. Okay, for one line it is not, bracket is not required, but suppose some people, they are so involved with the if statement that they think that there must be always this brackets for if statement. If there is only one statement, that bracket is not required. You put the bracket when there are multiple statements are there, but anyhow, I'm going to leave that thing so that you don't get confused. So this is, score is going to be increased. Okay, if you select, what is the meaning of it? If this answer is D, and if you have also selected the D, if these two are matching, then you checked the same D, then this is proper. If this answer is D, and if you have selected C, then your score will not increase. Again, I'm going to increase the score by 1. You can increase the score by 10 or 20, whatever it is, but I'm going to just increase the score by 1. Okay, done. Now only thing is, when I click on this score, I have to show that score button, right or not. Okay, so how am I going to do that thing? I'm going to write one more method. So naturally, so I'm going to write one function there, and you can give any name to that particular function, and I'm going to call that function, it's up to you, any name. Okay, function, and I'm going to say show score. Okay. And what is that they have said is, if you look at the uh, question here, they said that the score should be displayed in alert message. Okay, I'm going to show it in the alert message. So I'm going to show this alert message. So alert, and I'm going to use the back quote here. Now I'm going to just get the virtual keyboard, and I'm going to show you something. Virtual, not where is the V? Virtual keyboard. Okay, on-screen keyboard. Okay, that's what I want, not the virtual box. I'm going to tell you what is that I'm doing. Okay, so that let it come. My machine is a bit slow. Please hang on with that. So remember, I am going to use this. This is called as a backquote, not this one. This is single quote. This, then you get some double quote. Somewhere you get a single and double quote. This is not the one I'm using. I'm using this back quote, which is closer to the escape key. Somewhere near your in the keyboard, you get this back quote. I'm typing that back quote, so don't get confused. This is the back quote. I'm going to start with the back quote and I'm going to end with the back quote, not the single quote. So be careful with that. So I will type the back quote. Okay, look at the way this is. Let me show you. This is back quote, and inside I'm going to just show you this is single quote. Can you difference between these two? This is single quote, and the one that I have just typed is the back quote. Okay, and I'm going to say your score is and dollar. Okay, and I'm going to say the variable name. What is the variable name? Just I have typed the variable name. If you look at the variable name, I've typed a score. Okay, so this is a variable name. I'm going to type. So your score is that variable. This is the variable that I've typed there. So your score is that score. Now this method has to be connected to this button there. So let's go to that button. Where is that button? Let's go up, and you have this score here. So this is the button is there, score button is there. So that's this button. This button is there, score button is there. So let's go to that button. We go to that button, and I'm going to say on click. On click. Where is this? On click. I am supposed to show the method. What is the method? I'm going to say show score. That is the method. Show score is the method. So I'm going to just save it. Okay, so let's start the quiz now. First, I'm going to just click on this show score. What is the score? Score is 0. See, your score is 0. So your score, where is that thing gone? Your score, how is it showing? Your score and the value of that variable. What is the initial value of that variable? Let me put a semicolon here, by the way. Let me put a semicolon there. Okay, this score, initial value of this score is 0. So let me save it. Okay, and let's go back. So your score is 0. What is the full form of RAM? If I say random access memory, click on submit. Second question has come. What is my score? 1. My score is 1 because I selected 1, right? It's not. What is the full form of ROM? I say read-only memory. You click on here. First, let me click OK, and then say click on here. Submit it. What is my score? My score is 2. Okay. What is the full form of CPU? A hard disk drive. This is the wrong answer. I submit it. What is my score? My score is still 2. Okay. What is the full form of HDD? I'm going to say central processing unit, and I'm going to submit it, and I'm going to see my score is still 2. Which memory is volatile memory? I'm going to say this is random access memory. Submit it. Okay, quiz is completed. No doubt. I click on this. My score is 1 more than that. Now there is one minor problem that you need to handle. And what is that minor problem that you need to handle is you are supposed to, this is what they have said. If, what is this? That, okay, a quiz without submitting the answer, the quiz should not go to the next question. So that one thing you have to check on. Okay, it's going to be a bit lengthier one, but let's do that thing. So when you submit it, okay, so when you submit it, you can actually write a for loop for that, but I'm going to do it manually, but there is no way you can use a for loop. Okay, but in any case, let's start with the one. Okay, let's start with the variable. Okay, variable is selected. Okay, so I'm coming to the is selected, and I'm going to say false. Is selected is false. Okay, I take a variable. Okay. Now I'm going to say if suppose one of them is selected. How do I say that? If A is checked, if A is checked, okay, suppose if one of them is checked, then E selected is true. E selected is true. Okay, I'm going to do that thing. Okay, E selected is true. Okay. Similarly, remember, I start with the false, indicating that none of them is selected. If one of them is selected, if A is not selected, then maybe he might have selected the B. So he might have selected B. If A is not selected, he might have selected B. Otherwise, he might have selected C. If any one of them is selected, I just want that one. So if B is selected, well and good. If C is selected, well and good. Okay, if D is selected, well and good. So okay, everything is good. Okay, if nothing is selected, then what happens? Okay, so what to do here? Okay, you can say is selected or is not selected. So I'm going to say if, okay, where is that thing? If is selected, is where is this? Is selected, well and good. Okay, if is selected, you are going to do all these things. Okay, if is not selected, how do you say this is not? So in your C program, you say that is not. Okay, if not selected, okay, then you are going to say, remember, I'm just giving you that okay alert. Okay, and I'm going to say please select a answer, or select a answer or one answer or whatever it is, and I'm going to just return from this method. Okay, let's save it and let's run it. Okay. If I submit it, what's going to happen? So it's going to say, please select a answer. Okay. Are you going to the next question? No. Again, what is RAM? Look at the question. What is RAM? Not selected anything. Please select a answer. Okay. Or not selected. It's not going to go to the next question. I select an answer, random access memory. I go to the next question. I select a answer. I go to the next question. I don't select a answer, submit it. Please select a answer. Okay, hope you get that idea. So before I go to before I go to the next question, I just check whether one is selected. If it is selected, well and good. If it's not selected, then there is no point in going to the next one. So let's look at the whole thing now. So have we done what they are expecting us to do? So let's look at what they have said. So create a HTML page with the quiz game where the user one question is shown at a time. I have done that thing, and the question is shown in the radio button. I have done that. Without submitting the answer, you are not going to the next question. Minimum of 5 question is there. That is up to the array. Okay. Whenever a user wishes to see the score, the alert message is shown. Now only the thing is when the final answer is shown. Let me do that part. Okay, when the user goes to the final answer, when the submits a final answer, okay, you show the message quiz is completed. If you click OK, he still has a choice of going to the next question. I don't want that thing to happen. Okay, I'm going to fix only that part. So how can I stop somebody from going to the next question? Is I have to somehow get rid of this button. See, if this button is there, then they can go to the next question. This button is not there. So in Hindi they say, okay, na rahegi vas, na rahegi, na bajegi bansuri. So if this particular, if it is not there, so if you don't have bamboo, you can't create the flute. So if you don't have that submit button, you can't go to the next question. So somehow, when you reach the last question, somehow remove that button from the user. How am I going to do that thing? So that is going to be the challenge that we are going to take up now. How are we going to remove this button from my what is a from the screen? So let's go here and let's see where is this. So quiz is completed. You come here. So in this case, when the last question is coming, quiz is completed. You say quiz is completed. Well and good. But the question is, you have to now get rid of that particular what is that submit button. So how do you get this submit button from the user? Okay, so how to get this submit button? So you have to get hold of this. Where is it? You have to get hold of that submit button. Let's go to this submit button. Let me remove this. Okay, where is it? Okay, let's go to the submit button. I have to now somehow do something with that submit button. Let me give it a id equal to, I'm going to say submit submit button. Okay, I'll call that a submit button. Okay, I'm going to just copy that, control C to copy it. I'm going to get a hold of this button. Okay, I'm going to go here and let's come back to this. So you say the quiz is completed. Now let me go to this document element and I'm going to say get element by id. Get element by id. What is the element? Submit button is the element. And I'm going to say, okay, there is this style is there. It has style, and what is a style is its visibility. Okay, so let me say visible, vc what is this say visibility. Okay, that spelling must be proper, I suppose. Visibility. Okay, visibility is, I'm going to say hidden. So what is the meaning of it? Its visibility is hidden. That means you don't show it. Visibility is hidden means you don't show that thing. Okay, let's look at what's going to happen. So let's start from here. One question is selected, you go to the next. One question is selected, you go. One answer is done. Next answer is done. Next answer is done. Your question is completed. Your quiz is completed. Click OK. It is gone. But it is gone. Well and good. But there is one patch is there. Look at my dog that is barking. Okay, so that patch should be removed. So how do you remove that patch? Remember, I said a display block. If you look at the uh, thing over here, somewhere I said display in block. Where is that button gone? Well, let's look at that button. Where is the button that I have it here? H1, H2 button. So this look at this one, display block. When I say display block, it's going to show that reserve so much of a space for that. So I have to say display none so that it won't show the block. So how do I going to do that thing? I'm going to go to that place. I'm going to go to this place. Okay, visibility is removed. Okay, it is visibility is removed. Press enter. Okay, I am going to say display, not that this one, display. Okay, and I'm going to say none. Okay, so done. Let's start over again. Okay, one answer is selected, you go to the next. One answer is selected, go to the next one. One answer is selected. Okay, you go to the next one. One answer is selected, you go to the next one. Last one is this one. Your quiz is completed. Click OK. That's gone. Okay, now you can only see the score. Okay. Oh God, the score is 5. I blindly clicked on anything and I got the score as 5. Anyway, that's my good luck, I suppose. So you got all the thing. Now, how do you start over again? Refresh it. Okay, refresh it, and you get everything. Submit it, submit it, submit it, submit it, submit it. Your quiz is over. Click here. You have left with only score. So anytime you can look at the score and refresh it. Now in when I saw the thing what they have done in other colleges is when the last question is coming, okay, they give a choice for restart the quiz. Okay, after this they will make the user to restart the quiz. If you look at the question here, nowhere they have mentioned that the at the end of the quiz has to be restarted. They have not mentioned that. Okay, they said that the page, when the page is loaded, okay, you have to show the question one at a time. That I have done. Okay, without submitting the answer, the quiz will not go to the next one. That I have done. Okay, and whenever the user want to see the score, they can see the score. and it is displayed in the alert message. I've done that thing, and all the question has to be loaded from the page, but nowhere they said that at the end of the quiz you have to allow the user to resubmit it back. Okay, that is not been asked, so I am not going to do that thing, because it's like doing adhika prasanga during the examination is not going to help you. Okay, so and it's going to take a lot of time. You will just notice that it's taking too much of time to just get this to up to this point. So if you've done this one, you're done with your work. So you've done this. Anytime the user wants, they can see the score. Okay, anytime the user wishes to see the score, they can see the score. Anytime the user wants to see the score, they can see the score. That is being done. Now again, let me refresh it. Without selecting any answer, it is not going to the next one. That also I have taken care. If you select it, you're going to go. Without it, it's not going to go. Okay, so that with that, I think I have done the justice to my the question there. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again in the next exercise. Thank you.